The Baja 1000, the toughest road race in the world. It's a brutal, punishing, and unforgiving slog from Ensenada to La Paz over some of the roughest, least vehicle-friendly terrain imaginable. The majority of the nearly 400 cars that enter the race never finish. It's 1,134 miles of physically and mentally abusive, dirty hell. All of these are reasons why I'm still sort of baffled why I was so excited to get a chance to run the race on its 50th anniversary. Did I mention there's booby traps too? Because there are. I was offered a stint in one of Wide Open Baja's Baja Challenge class cars. These cars are sort of derived from the basic layout of a Volkswagen-based sandrail, but much more modernized. It's a rugged, fast off-road machine designed specifically for this environment and race, and yet ours still barely made it. The equipment you need is pretty similar to most racing, except there's also a catheter involved. I was part of a team of 6, and we split up into pairs to divide the 1,100 or so miles of the race into thirds. Mark Stahl won the Baja 1000 in 1978 and 1980 all by himself, and he also won his class again in 1981. This was my driving partner. In 2007, he actually came out of retirement to win again. Now he's in his 60s, and he was determined to have one more win. Winning wasn't even really a concept I'd considered, but Mark wanted it, and as a result, he drove like a madman. The race is long and difficult. Mark and I had the final leg with some of the toughest terrain in the course. Now each leg has its challenges. The first has the most traffic, the middle is a very high speed part, and the third is rough and the car has already been through hell. When the second leg team came in, they'd had a long, hard run, which included smacking into a goat. The car was in rough shape, with several recurring mechanical issues showing up. Still, Mark was eager to win, so off we went, with Mark driving first, but promising I'd get a turn, and me handling the many co-driving duties. The first part of our leg included water crossing, where water goes over the hood and soaks you, making you nice and cold. Then you hit rocks the size of bowling balls, or bigger, and getting through them is like an ant running through a gravel driveway. Everything is shaking, your head is smacking into the roll cage, and all the while I'm trying to use the GPS to keep us on course and monitoring the state of the car. You know those big sine wave type jumps in games like the old NES Excitebike? They're real, and they're called whoopses, and they're made by the trophy trucks as they pass, and they launch you up to 5 or 8 feet in the air, and then you come down over and over and over again. Sometimes they're rhythmic, sometimes they're arrhythmic, and if you take one at the wrong angle, you roll. We had 70 miles of these. And there's the silt. Silt is a type of ultrafine grained sand, almost like baby powder, that occurs in massive drifts several feet deep all over the course. It exists because God hates to see people in motion or something like that. The only way through it is constant momentum, but when you're in it, it flows over your hood and into the car like water. You can barely steer through it, and it makes it almost impossible to see with all the dust in the air. Of course, we got stuck in the silt. Almost everyone does. Luckily, there were locals around with huge tractors to pull us out, or other teams chase vehicles in acts of welcome camaraderie. At about 2 a.m., our car was in real trouble. We were losing electrical power, and with that, our lights. We lost most of the steering, our cooling system was failing. We needed to find a place out of the silt where we could stop to do repairs, but in the dark, dusty desert, that wouldn't be easy. Then we got a sign from God, literally. A lone church sprung up alongside the course, and Mark recognized it from a run he did 4 years ago. During that run, he made repairs on the property of a nice guy named Guadalupe. I know that's normally a girl's name, but that's what Mark called him. He'd given Guadalupe some gifts, and they'd kept up a bit, enough for Mark to feel okay knocking on his door at 2 a.m. Incredibly, he answered and helped us get light and a space to fix the car. We needed to replace the main drive belt, which was just gone. He even brought us some cervezas, because Guadalupe is fantastic. Viva Guadalupe! We were all fixed, ready to go. 5 minutes later, the silt. We got stuck, we dug out, we got stuck again, pulled out again, and again, and again. It was bad. It was so bad we decided to go off course. Mark sent me out on foot with the radio to find a path in the pitch-dark Mexican desert. This was hard. I had no idea where I was or where I was going. I was supposed to feel the ground with my feet and radio back if it was good. I finally found a good stretch, but then it ended in a dead end. I was about to warn Mark not to come my way when I heard him driving right at me. It was too late. He hit the dead end and we were really, really stuck. I tried the radio and sat phone and got nothing. Nothing at all. All the promised tow vehicles and support crews were nowhere to be found. I even left a message on my wife's phone to try and get a hold of the support teams via Facebook. No luck. It was 4 a.m., we were really, really stuck and really exhausted. We slept in the car for about 2 hours or so. It was cold as hell and a really shitty way to sleep. In the morning, we heard nearby voices, so Mark went to find them. He found 10 locals willing to help, but he couldn't find the car again out in the desert. He yelled for me. I walked toward the sound, drawing arrows in the dirt so I could find my way back to the car. It worked. We dug and tore off branches, fresh only, not dry, to use for traction, and we finally got free. We were back on the course. Mark was a man driven mad now, as he really wanted to make up time and finish, so we were doing 70 miles an hour or so on long stretches of really, really rough terrain. It was brutal. We hit the home stretch. The car is still falling apart. We're both exhausted. There were booby traps set by locals to try to get the car in the air, where there were rough cliff-like sections that were like driving down a fossilized waterfall, but Mark's a pro and we powered on through. We finished! I couldn't believe it. We were 8th in our class, and not a win for Mark, but a triumph for me, and Mark was just happy to finish. Only about 40% of the cars do remember. This race is everything you've heard. Brutal, long, punishing, unforgiving, frustrating, maddening, terrifying, everything, all of that. It's also a hell of a lot of filthy, dusty fun, and an experience you can't forget. I kinda wanna try it again. Maybe because of how many times I whacked my head on that roll cage.